So, you're recommending an appeal. I have that right? Did some new evidence come to light?
Yui Mamiya told us some things, like how you faked your alibi for Mikoshiba's murder. You wanted the sexual battery conviction, right?
Well...
Your goal was to avenge your son and humiliate the law on a grand scale.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Natürlich weißt du gar nichts davon.
Ahara-san, we have a much better grasp of the situation than you think.
And what exactly have you grasped?
Like Yagami-san just said, you're innocent, as far as the harassment goes. As your lawyer, I'll file for an appeal, and we'll make sure the world knows it.
Thanks, but no. I'm scum of the earth. A perv. The prosecution and the judge made that very clear in the verdict.
Wohl wahr, das bist du wohl.
On the day of the crime,
Also abschauen bist du.
October 7th, at around 6:30 a.m., you were in Ijincho, not Tokyo.
Baloney. I was relaxing at home.
Except that you weren't.
Oh?
You wanted to give the man who pushed your son to suicide the beating of a lifetime. And you'd miss out on that opportunity if you were at home, which is why you were in Ijincho instead. Isn't that right? You and Kawana's former student staked out Mikoshiba's house until he left. Then you dragged your prey into a car and brought him to an abandoned building in Ijincho.
Auch schon mit der gleichen Maske unterm Kinn.
Every bone on Mikoshiba's fingers was broken. Remembering how he pushed Toshiro-kun to his death, it's no wonder you'd go that far. You tortured Mikoshiba without a shred of remorse. You inflicted
Das war
no small
anscheinend nicht
amount of
Ehara,
pain and
nein.
terror. There's
Ich finde
no
auch richtig
way
Spaß daran
you
zu haben.
weren't
Also,
there.
wie gesagt, ich kann echt
I
mit
put
den
my
ganzen
money
Leuten vielleicht
on
doch nicht so viel Mitleid haben,
And then...
die jetzt von Kawana da reingedrängt wurden.
Need the whole play-by-play? Even though you already know it?
Oh, not at all. I'm just fascinated by this outrageous little story.
Ich zeige anhand eines Beweises, was er getan hat, nachdem er Mikoshiba gefordert hat. Ja, es gibt davon halt so ein Video, ne? Also ich meine, das Video kennt er doch auch wahrscheinlich. Also ich meine, natürlich kennt er das Video, aber ich meine, ist doch klar, dass
As for
wir
what
das
you did
kennen.
next after beating
Das ist
Mikoshiba,
öffentlich.
It's quite a home video.
without leaving anything on Mikoshiba's body that could be traced back to you, you slit his throat. Estimated time of death was around 7:30 a.m. on October 7th. You tossed the bloody coat and made your way to Ikebukuro Station, where Yui Mamiya was waiting.
Are you sure? I was at Ikebukuro by 7:30 a.m. Would have been impossible for me to kill Mikoshiba and Ijincho.
The person in the security camera footage in Ikebukuro was a double who imitated your likeness. The identity of whom belonged to Jin Kawana, the handyman in Ijincho. Or maybe you know him by a different name. Former high school teacher Yu Kitakata. So which name did he give you?
I don't know who you're talking about.
With Kawana in view of the security camera, you met up with Yui Mamiya at Ikebukuro first. That's where you touched the undergarments she had prepared. The police would later discover the trace evidence on your hands and pin the groping on you.
Jetzt kommen wir halt wieder in so einen ähnlichen Abschnitt wie im ersten Judgment, wo
After that,
wir an sich den Fall gelöst haben, oder zumindest einen großen Teil davon, und das jetzt jedem einzelnen Charakter wieder von vorne wiederholen. Und wir als Spieler wissen ja, wir haben das ja alles gehört. Und das wiederholen wir das Ganze halt nochmal. Und das wiederholen wir dann wahrscheinlich gleich nochmal zu irgendjemand anderem. Und das gab es halt im ersten Judgment auch. Das war ja einer meiner großen Kritikpunkte. Schade, dass das jetzt wieder hier, ja,
who looked just like you.
so ähnlich stattfindet.
You were able to swap places in that huge crowd without anyone noticing. Kawana handed you the transit card used to pass the ticket gate. Just one piece of hard evidence that places you in Ikebukuro at 7:43 a.m. And right after the swap, Mamiya started calling for help. After that, well, we've all seen how the news reported it. You were caught in a public place with plenty of witnesses.
An active duty police officer arrested for sexual battery. The public outcry was very clear. As a result, despite it being your first offense, you were actually tried and convicted. The consensus is that it was a fitting punishment for someone so heinous. Even as your lawyer, I felt the same.
Have some confidence in yourself, Shirosaki-sensei. The prosecution, the judge, and a lawyer like you all laid out the evidence in court and found me guilty. I'm in no position to doubt you. And I've long accepted the ruling that Toshiro was never bullied. There's nothing I can do but abide by the rule of law. Right? That's all I can do, right?
I know what you're trying to say. You carried out the justice that the courts wouldn't, right?
Everything my son went through was passed off like it never even happened. School, the teachers, and yes, the court. They all dismissed the reason he died.
That's when Kawana came in the picture, telling you Toshiro-kun had been bullied. But was it Kawana's words that suddenly made you want to kill Mikoshiba? Because all of his fingers were broken while he was still alive. Was that really all just your pent-up
Wir haben doch gerade
rage?
gesehen, dass das nicht war.
What do you have to
Ich weiß,
say,
das wissen wir
Handsome?
eigentlich nicht, aber wir haben es in der Szene gesehen. Davon gab es ein Bild. Es hätte keine Beweise für das Mobbing durch Mikoshiba geben dürfen. Wer hat Ihara die Wahrheit gesagt? Ja, ne?
Was Sawa-sensei the one who told you the
Wenn es
truth?
nicht Kawana war?
She was the only person Toshiro-kun confided in. You had to have heard it from her, right?
Nearly hit the nail on the head, as they say.
Nearly?
After my trial, she confessed she knew about the bullying. But only to her old teacher over the phone.
Na gut, da war es ja doch Kawana, wow.
She had no idea she was being recorded.
What?
Kawana-san let me listen to that recording where I learned Sawa-sensei had been muzzled by both the homeroom teacher and the lawyer. That was the proof of Toshiro's bullying I'd wanted all throughout the trial. After hearing Sawa-sensei's words, I finally understood. They pushed my boy over the edge.
Was there no other evidence of the bullying? Like a diary of Toshiro-kun's or something of the sort?
Nothing. Toshiro never talked to me or my wife about the bullying. And that was probably all my fault. He was bullied in middle school, too. Kids would throw his pencil case around or hide his books. When I heard about it, I chewed him out. They walk all over you because you're weak. Grow spine, I told him.
I take it that was the wrong
Ja,
approach.
genau wie bei Kawana. Eigentlich bist du vielleicht auch ein bisschen mitschuld.
I can't imagine how much courage it took
Klar,
for him
nicht
to.
hauptsächlich. Sag ich bei Kawana, denke ich das auch ja nicht, dass er hauptsächlich schuld ist. Der Punkt
I'm
ist,
sure he felt ashamed about it.
haben sie wirklich das Recht, so sehr jetzt auf andere Menschen wütend zu sein und die ganze Schuld von sich
I was proud
abzuwälzen.
of his bravery. But instead, I pushed him away. And in the end, Toshiro tried to make sure he never showed weakness to us again. No matter how much pain he was in. He went to a private school out in Yokohama because he hated living with me. But in the end, he still suffered.
And that's why you didn't hesitate to unleash hell on Mikoshiba.
If you say so.
Er gibt mir noch nicht zu, dass er Mikoshiba ermordet hat. Das muss ihn umbringen.
So the first time Kawana showed up was when he let you listen to the phone call with Sawa-sensei, right?
Yes. He approached me and asked me if I still wanted justice for my son. I was in uniform when he came to me too. Very bold. But it paid off. I owe him a debt of gratitude. He reassured me he had already taken care of multiple individuals like Goshiba, and that he'd urged other families to avenge the children they lost to bullying. He'd tell them that simply being branded a bully wasn't enough. He promised to deliver real justice.
If justice can be served at one's own discretion, laws would cease to serve their function. If the law isn't fair to everyone, no one
Ja, aber
will
war
obey.
das Gesetz ja nicht gerecht für
The law
alle.
is only
Also
able
das
to help
ist-
the powerless because it can't be swayed by money, force, or anything else.
Then tell me, what's the solution when the law fails
Ja,
to punish
das ist-
someone who
ist
laughs
wahr.
in its face? To overlook those the law won't judge is to abandon those the law couldn't protect.
To render justice with confidence, you require sufficient evidence.
Some of the victims' families refused Koana's offer of revenge, telling him it would be unforgivable. But even after rejecting his offer, not a one reported Koana-san to the police. Do you understand what that implies? Whether you follow through with revenge or not, Koana-san presents a solution that resonates with people. Being that the law is unfair and imperfect. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're not. But we're fighting to make it as fair as we can. Laws have to change until they are perfect.
They don't change fast enough. Toshiro's death was murder by another name. Yet Hiromi Kushiba walked free. He even got to enroll in a teaching program as a student teacher. Someone like him? It's insane! I'd die of old age before the law was ever written to be fair enough. For Toshiro's sake, I can't turn a blind eye to a world where the Mikoshibas can live without consequence. Tell me, what alternative was there to getting blood on my hands? I didn't have any other choice.
Yagami-san, did he just...
Yep.
This is the first time you've admitted to killing Mikoshiba.
Ich hoffe, hier gibt es eine Kamera oder so. Ich hoffe, das wird
You
aufgezeichnet.
did your research, unlike those useless cops. Koana-san's plan was impressive, almost airtight. I didn't expect it to be unraveled so quickly.
I just got lucky. There was some dirt on Yui Mamiya that Koana could have used against her. If we hadn't found it, there's no way we would have gotten her to talk.
Ja, war eigentlich sehr viel Glück
What are you
dabei.
talking about?
Stimmt schon.
Sorry, but I'm under no obligation to tell you.
Ahara-san, you'll be sent to prison as a sex offender as it stands.
Of course, just as I planned. The charges will be confirmed, and I'll be convicted.
Okay, ich gehe davon aus, dass hier nichts aufgezeichnet wird in diesem Raum.
Prosecution.
Sehr sinnvoll.
They wouldn't be able to admit they made a mistake. I could scream, "I killed Mikoshiba" at the top of my lungs. It wouldn't matter.
Are you saying you intend to admit to the murder after you're released?
Everyone's seen the video of me killing Mikoshiba by now. It's obviously authentic, but the prosecution and the police are saying it's fake. They need it to be fake. Even if I do confess, they'll sweep it under the rug.
Ja, wie gesagt, der Polizei vertrauen
No, that's not beneath them.
dem Gericht
But
und
I take
allem
it how
hier
they react doesn't really
können wir halt
matter.
wirklich nicht.
All you want is to
Deswegen halte ich es auch noch
humiliate
für
the
gut
law,
möglich,
don't you?
dass
The same system that
Police da
determined
wirklich halt
Koshiro
mit drin
Kun's
hängt.
incident didn't happen.
bei der RK.
It seems you're starting to understand.
Gut, das rede ich mir vielleicht auch jetzt ein bisschen ein, weil es die einzige Idee ist, die ich habe. Ich gebe es dir zu, ich weiß.
If the prosecution wanted to charge me for Mikoshiba's murder, then they'd have to retract the battery verdict. And that would mean admitting to a massive blunder by the court at the hands of a criminal. It would be chaos. Despite knowing who murdered Mikoshiba, no one would know what to make of the case. Wouldn't that just be wonderful?
I hear you. And I even get why you'd feel pretty proud of accomplishing that.
Do you?
But in this case, the guys pretty much grabbed the tiger by the tail.
What tiger's tail?
Ja, das mit dem Tiger habe ich mich auch schon
Someone's
gefragt. Das hast du
issuing
Kapitel, ja.
orders to the thugs in Kamurocho from behind the scenes. He's the tiger in this case. And they've been closing in on your partner,
Okay,
Koana.
das ist der Tiger also.
And Sawa's sense
Wir wissen
of
selbst nicht, wer der
guts
Tiger
are
ist.
I'm sure you get the newspaper in here, right? You know, don't you? Sawa-sensei was killed after the thugs broke into her home. All because she got involved with Kuwana.
I'm aware she was killed. But this is the first I'm hearing of the reason why. And by thugs, you mean RK?
Yeah, but we don't know why they're going after Kuwana. Any ideas?
No way I'd know.
You think it could be because she got mixed up in your deadly little game?
Excuse me?
That's what getting away with murder really looks like. The more you perpetuate the lie, the greater the rift you create. And then, the unthinkable happens. Kuwana killed others besides Mikoshiba. You said so yourself. That's what brought the angry tiger into play. And if Sawa-sensei ended up paying for that instead, then how can you begin to believe your vengeance is fair?
Because she gave false testimony. She lied in court to say Toshiro was never bullied.
She couldn't name Mikoshiba, who was a minor at the time, without evidence. What's more, she was haunted by her testimony, always second-guessing if she did the right thing. But now she's been killed. Somehow that's acceptable to you? I'm gonna clear up what happened to Sawa-sensei, just like you did for Toshiro-kun.
How?
By going public with everything you and Kuwana did. The first step is to appeal the sexual battery and undo this whole lie.
You never groped Yui Mamiya. That's one crime you're innocent of, Ehara-san. The court's verdict was incorrect. So please give us the chance to appeal. We can prove your innocence.
What on earth would I get out of that?
You get to humiliate the court again. Besides, what are you gonna do for the next half a year in a cell?
Fine. Do what you want. But just know this.
Yes?
I have no intention of admitting to killing Mikoshiba in court. Is your appeal still worth a damn?
We won't know till we try. Let's go, Sari-san. We have client approval to proceed with the appeal. We better act fast.
Yes, agreed.
Yagami-san. Sawa-sensei's death isn't on me. Even if I have grabbed the tiger by the tail. That doesn't mean I killed her.
Ja, okay.
By that logic, you may as well admit that Mikoshiba didn't kill Toshiro.
Das ist genau das, was ich gerade sagen wollte,
You can't have it both ways. Listen to me. Everything about you, about Kuwana, about why Sawa-sensei had to die, we're gonna expose all of it. That's the only thing left we can do for her.
Da haben sie ja auch einfach nur Selbstmord begangen, ne? Ist ja dann deren Schuld. Ich meine, okay, ja, also kann man für argumentieren. Man kann auch dafür argumentieren, dass du nicht schuld daran bist, dass Hauer getötet wurde. Ich meine, ja, du hast sie nicht umgebracht, das ist richtig. Das haben andere Leute gemacht. Die sind daran eher schuld auf jeden Fall auch. Aber das Ganze drumherum hat es halt jeweils in die Richtung gelenkt.
Sure thing.
Also gut, gehen wir rein. Meinetwegen. Ich würde jetzt halt immer noch gerne wissen, wer die anderen 5 Opfer von Kuwana sind. Das werden wir, glaube ich, echt mehr herausfinden. Ich kann mir halt vorstellen, dass vielleicht dann der Tiger irgendwie mit einem von denen zusammenhängt oder so.
It sounds like you were productive.
It's enough for us to move forward with the appeal, I'd say. How does that sound, Genda-sensei?
Genda-sensei?
The sexual battery and Mikoshiba's murder are the very same case. To clear Ehara of harassment, you'll need to prove he murdered Mikoshiba. But you don't have evidence he did, do you?
Ehara-san was captured on video committing the murder.
And the prosecution claims it's a fake, of unknown origins.
Das ist so ein Bullshit. Aber ja, keine
They're
Ahnung.
only saying that to cover their asses.
In reality, the sexual battery evidence against Ehara-san is what was really fake. At the very least, we can claim Yui Mamiya and the others aided in fabricating that, alibi or not.
You really think the courts will grant you an appeal for just that?
Are you saying that's not possible?
I wouldn't go that far. But Ihara won't admit to murdering Mikoshiba in court. Kinda significant, don't you think? So what chance do you have even if you do appeal? Without any decisive new evidence, you'll just end up splitting hairs over the original verdict. And what good'll it do other than damage your own reputation, Saru-kun?
Ken-Sensei macht sich also Sorgen um Saru-sans Karriere. Das verstehe ich auch, aber...
To be honest with you, I feel like I've been deeply underestimated.
What?
Saori-san, are you actually mad?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I am.
You have every right to be.
Listen, Sensei. Ihara and Kiwana devised this plan knowing full well they could manipulate the justice system. Have we not fallen right into their trap? If we take pity on the prosecution now, we play right into their hand.
True.
So how can we worry about reputation when our duty as lawyers is to face the law?
I understand where you're coming from, and you're right to think it, but...
And another thing. While acting as Ihara's defense in the first trial, I never truly believed the claim. I didn't trust the person I was defending, and I felt sick to my stomach even being in the courtroom.
Saori-san.
Ihara likely saw right through that. He probably took great delight in our myopic dedication to the law. And I won't stand for that. I'm gonna show him exactly what I can do.
What about you, Yagami? I want to hear your thoughts.
Er sagt es nicht, aber er ist anderer Meinung als Saori-san. Wie gehe ich jetzt vor? Ich weiß nicht, ob Hoshino-kun irgendwas übernehmen sollte. Ich meine, Hoshino-kun sollte was übernehmen, ist genau dasselbe. Wir sollten auch Saori-san hören, glaube ich. Aber ja, komm, nehmen wir Hoshino.
I'll defer to Hoshino-kun on this one.
Huh? Wait, why are you putting me on the spot?
I mean, I don't work here anymore, so...
Don't you play that card now, especially not with so much on the line.
That's right. Genda-sensei's asking your opinion for a reason.
So what's it gonna be?
In Ordnung, dann nehme ich...
We should listen to Saori-san. I understand why Ihara and Kiwana did what they did, but I can't condone it.
I see. So you feel it too, huh?
Yes. Although my motivation may not be as righteous as Saori-san's.
What do you mean?
Mikoshiba's murder, the fake groping alibi, the one behind it all was Kiwana, and he's in hiding. We need to shine enough light on him that the public can see what he is. And the perfect place to do it is during Ihara's appeal hearing.
So it's not Ihara you're after, but Kiwana.
In
If
erster
we
Linie
pursue
schon.
Ihara's case, Kiwana-san's actions will naturally come to light.
And if we draw out Kiwana, then RK and the ones backing them will make their move. Soma from RK said Sawa-sensei knew too much, which means whoever's behind them has a secret that needs to stay buried, even if it means murder. And I need to figure that secret out. I owe Sawa-sensei that closure. The only thing we can do for her now is make sure the ones pulling the strings pay for it.
Well said. I guess going back wasn't ever really an option.
Ich meine, sowieso noch nie.
Looks
Für
like I
uns.
got complacent from all the peace and quiet. Leave it to me to underestimate the younger generation.
I apologize. I shouldn't have been so impertinent.
That should be my line, Saru-kun. I suppose I have to make up my mind after all that, don't I? Get out there and do what needs to be done. And heaven help anyone in your way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
You heard him.
Ich meine, es ist keine überraschende Entwicklung, würde ich sagen. Zukunft ruft an. Hoffentlich ist alles in Ordnung.
Hello?
Yagamishi, are you still in Kamurocho?
Ja, ich kann mal wieder vorbeikommen, ne?
Yeah, why? What's up?
I'm afraid RK seems to be amassing in Ijincho. It's very bizarre.
Okay.
Are they now?
Yeah, I can't shake the feeling that the officers like Soma and Akutsu are still in town.
You think so? If I was Soma, I'd have left Ijincho by now. He's a person of interest in Sawa-sensei's murder, too.
I see. That does make sense.
Things are settling into place here, though. I'm heading back to Ijincho with Sugiura. We We got a lot to go over with you when I get back.
Ja, zum einen das und zum anderen würde ich mir das auch gerne mal ansehen, ne? Was auch immer da vor sich geht. Mysteriöses mit den AK-Leuten. Den wird schon oft genug wiederholt. Die sind das einzige große Mysterium, was so richtig offen ist.
Well, now that's something. Looks like we're finally
Guck mal,
starting to
hier
see
wurde
the
es
whole
jetzt immerhin
picture.
geskippt, die ganze Zusammenfassung. Das ist doch schon mal nett, oder? Finde ich wirklich.
Or rather, keep
Da wir das jetzt schon dreimal gehört haben, die ganze Auflösung im Prinzip.
helped Ihara murder Mikoshiba. But there's still some things that doesn't explain.
Like what?
Like, why does RK keep going after Kawana-san? You think that's
Ja,
weird
das
too,
ist
right,
meine große
Yagami-san?
Frage. Weiterhin.
Yeah,
Habe ich gerade auch schon gesagt.
that's the piece of the puzzle that'll lead us to why Sawa-sensei got killed. Before they came to Ijincho, RK was originally looking for Shinya Kawai. But when they found out he might have been killed, they suddenly shifted gears to Kawana. So what are they trying to accomplish?
Also wollen sie sich an Kawaii rächen?
We can guess all we want, but that's not gonna get us anywhere. Shouldn't we ask someone in RK directly?
Nee, für Kawaii rächen. Nee, verstehe, was ich meine.
They're strengthening their numbers in Ijincho as we speak.
The goons at the bottom rung aren't gonna be in the know on that, though. So if Akatsu or
Ist ja vielleicht dann doch noch wichtiger, als wir bisher dachten. Für mich wirkt er jetzt auch einfach nur wie ein random Mobber.
Sitting around here won't get us any further. I'm gonna head into the city for a bit.
Auch wenn sie nach ihm gesucht haben.
I'm quick on my feet. That's about all I have going for me right now.
How modest of you.
Yeah, don't say that, Yagami-shi. Otherwise, what ground do we have to stand on?
Ich sollte aufbrechen. Ja, wohin genau, ne? Oh, ich habe eine Nachricht bekommen. Hallo? Wer meldet sich bei mir? Ah, Amasawa. Wie gehen die Ermittlungen voran, Yagami-san? Der Schulplaner ist eine tolle Erinnerungshilfe. Wir müssen unseren Erzfeind, den Professor, aufhalten. Er schleicht sich in die Herzen unschuldiger Schüler und macht sie zu Verbrechern. Nicht vergessen, ein wirklich kluger Detektiv löst Fälle, bevor sie überhaupt passieren. Ja, ich weiß noch. Okay, das war nur, will sie mir sagen, ist ja eine neue Sidequest für mich? Oder so? War das das? War das die Bedeutung davon? Von dem, was sie gerade, ne? Genau. Aber ich sehe mich jetzt in der Umgebung um. Das ist meine Aufgabe. Ich hab gehört, hier sollen sich irgendwo AK-Leute versammeln oder so. Wenn ich das richtig verstanden habe. Okay, oder ich werde einfach angerufen.
Hello?
It's Shirosaki. Do you have a minute, Yagami-san?
Yeah, what's up?
I was thinking back on our interview with Ihara-san, and something he said isn't sitting right with me. So I wanted to ask your opinion.
Okay, klar. Ist nichts aufgefallen?
Which part felt off?
The part about Kawana approaching other bullying victims besides Ihara-san to offer revenge.
Das
Ihara-san
wussten wir
also
doch.
mentioned that most of them rejected his offer, but never went to the police either.
Yeah, and?
Well, wasn't the first bully Kawana killed his own student? Shinya Kawai, I mean. Tormented by his bullies, Mitsuru Kusamoto's leap left him in a coma to this day. That event was the catalyst for Kawana's actions. So wouldn't he have approached his parents about revenge too?
Mitsuru Kusamoto's parents? You're talking about his mother, Reiko Kusamoto, right?
Mitsuru Kusumotos Mutter, Reiko Kusumoto. Sie war eine einfache Beamtin im Gesundheitsministerium. Jetzt ist sie Vizeministerin. Bitte schlag jetzt keine Verbindung zum ersten Judgment mit dem Gesundheitsministerium.
Yes, who is currently Vice Minister of the Ministry of Health. If she accepted or is even an accessory to a revenge plot against Kawai, then there's no way she'd ever want that secret to get out. With her level of influence and power, wouldn't it be possible that she ordered RK to silence Kawana?
Na gut, das hatte ich für ein
Which
bisschen
would
weiter hergeholt,
explain how RK's
vielleicht.
actions are being controlled, wouldn't it?
And you think it's Reiko Kusamoto?
You don't think vice ministers can control criminal organizations from the shadows? You know very well the answer to that.
Ja, natürlich weiß ich die Antwort.
Yeah.
Das ist der Punkt.
Tsukumo's actually looked into it before. I'll talk to him about it right now. Yeah, this is genius, Sari-san. This could lead us right to who's controlling RK.
Ich hatte vom ersten Mal an, dass das erwähnt wurde. Dass die Mutter von dem,
I'll call you if I find
irgendwas mit
anything
dem
out.
Gesundheitsministerium macht. Genau. Hatte ich ein bisschen Angst, dass es dann wieder in eine ähnliche Richtung damit gehen wird. Dass sie das nochmal nutzen quasi. Aber ist halt schon ein bisschen dumm, ne? So, ich gehe schwer zurück. Okay, gut, das war's. Na, sehr gut, hat sich gelohnt. Die große Reise. Meine Beine wurden vollkommen ausgelastet. Das ist ja jetzt auch schon das zweite Mal wieder, ne? Dass ich einfach erstmal durch die Gegend gehen soll und dann schon angerufen werde und dann werde ich irgendwie nach einer halben Minute angerufen. Ja.
Yagami-san, back already?
That was quick. I figured you'd be out in the town until evening.
Well, the day's not over yet. I need you to look into Reiko Kusamoto again. She might be the one behind RK.
Really?
Yeah. Can you pull up the picture of her you showed me last
Gibt es dafür wirklich einen guten Beweis oder zumindest einen Hinweis darauf? Oder ist doch jetzt komplett aus der Luft gegriffen, oder nicht? Spricht irgendwas dafür? Dass gerade sie damit drin hängt und nicht irgendeine von den anderen Eltern, von den anderen 5 Gemobbten? Oder sogar noch mehr, wenn die meisten abgelehnt haben?
Okay. Take a look at this, Yagamishi. Reiko Kusamoto became vice minister just recently. It hasn't even been a full year yet.
Looks like she's still got a good rep.
Yeah, there's almost no criticism of her out there.
The Ministry Revolution, bucking the bureaucracy. Golden parachutes don't fly with Kusamoto. Go her. Vice Minister's pretty high up there, yeah?
Big time. If she really did take Kawana up on his offer, silencing him would be the quickest way to save her skin. And in that case, she'd need some kind of connection to RK.
Some kind of connection? A bit vague, no?
Fair enough, but RK already took an innocent life while hunting Kawana down.
Right. And after killing Sawa-sensei, they tried to kill me, too. Still, no matter how dangerous the gang, murder is a risky proposition. Then again, if someone's pulling the strings, they have a lot less to worry about. Especially if that someone has vice minister status.
Well, the internet's not gonna give us much else. How about we do our usual thing? Go straight to the source.
Maybe we should.
Would it really be that easy to get a meeting with someone like her?
Mitsuru Kusamoto's still in a coma, right?
Yes?
If he's in a hospital, we can catch her by surprise there.
I get ya. That might work.
Huh. What's this now?
What's what now?
Breaking news from the net. It says manhunt for Sawa-sensei's murderer.
And?
It's hitting the network news, too. The person they're after is...
Wanted for the murder of private school teacher Yoko Sawa in her own apartment, Kanagawa PD is conducting a search
Das ist doch einfach das Bild von ihm ist.
self-proclaimed handyman Yu Kitakata.
Why are they looking for Kawana?
Warum finden sie so ein altes Bild von
Shouldn't they be
ihm?
after Soma?
Sawa-san's former teacher before and after the incident. It's also surfaced that he's been using a false identity for over a decade. The police are hopeful that their search will turn up some sort of connection to Sawa-san.
Also ich finde es ja gut, dass ihr gegen Kawana ermittelt, aber doch nicht deswegen. Warum sucht die Polizei nach Kawana und nicht nach Soma? Was zur Hölle?
If Kawana-san was caught on camera, then surely some RK thugs were as well?
Yeah, I think so. On that note, I should have been in the footage too. The police only seem to want Kawana, but why? Guess we'll have to ask them ourselves.
Ask who?
Detective Watanabe.
Ja, vor allem, weil ich dem ja gesagt habe, wer dahinter steckt. Was wieder dafür sprechen würde, dass er da mit drin hängt. Mit der AK. Wirklich. Das ist wirklich mal das Erste, was wirklich dafür spricht, tatsächlich.
Hey, I'm curious. Do you have any evidence that Kawana killed Sawa-sensei?
I take it you saw the news? Kawana was caught on camera near the crime scene, plus he knew the victim. And if that's not enough, he was using a fake name.
I saw Soma holding an ice pick up to Sawa-sensei. Plus, there were RK footprints all over the scene. So why is Kawana the only suspect?
Because the big boys with big balls at HQ said so. Barking at me won't get you anywhere.
So this is all just pressure from upstairs? What?
Why are you so bent out of shape? Kawana's a legitimate suspect, and all we're doing is following procedure. So stick your private investigator schnoz somewhere else.
You know, you sound pretty bent out of shape yourself. Where are you right now? I was thinking maybe we could meet up. How's a free pass to bitch about your work sound? Abe-san?
On the phone, in person, there's nothing I can tell you.
Ach Mann.
He hung up.
Yagamishi, I managed to focus in on the background noise from your phone call. Despite all the interference, I have a good idea of Nabe-san's location.
What? Seriously?
Wie?
He's on the main drag in Chinatown. If you go now, I'm sure you'll find him.
But is he
Ja,
even
das ist halt die
gonna
Frage,
listen to you?
was soll das überhaupt bringen?
Won't matter if I miss him because we sat here wondering.
Yagami Detective Agency, quick on its feet indeed.
Can't compete with that.
Ich meine, ja, er sagt wieder, dass es irgendwas von oben ist. Ja, ja. Er hat da eh kein Mitspracherecht, bla bla. Und ich meine, ist auch nicht ganz unglaubwürdig. Im Prinzip ist es ja das, was das große Problem im ersten Teil immer wieder aufs Neue war. Warte mal, Chinatown, ne? Genau. Ich weiß gar nicht, wohin genau. Na gut. So groß ist Chinatown nicht. Naja, aber keine Ahnung. Irgendwie, das ist halt auch noch eine Sache, die dafür spricht, auf einer ganz anderen Ebene, dass er da mit drin hängt, ist einfach, weil er bisher noch nicht so relevant ist als Charakter, ne? Wir haben ihn jetzt zweimal getroffen. Während wir ermittelt haben rund um den Mord. Und das war's an sich, ne? Also, nee, das eine Mal haben wir nur um den Mord ermittelt und das zweite Mal war ja, ja, nachdem Sowers dann ermordet wurde. Klar. Was auch ein Mord war. Also ja, beide Male waren wir beim Mord und haben ermittelt. Ist okay. Es stimmt schon. Hab ich ihn gefunden?
Yagami, why are you here?
Guck mal, danke, dass du mich sogar ansprichst.
And you were...
It's Sakura.
Den Namen habe ich mir gemerkt.
Oh, right.
I take it you
Ich habe auch gemerkt, dass ich ihn leiden kann.
in the neighborhood.
Let's just say some friends of mine have a real keen sense of smell. Something stinks about the cops here.
Excuse me, pal.
The Sawa case. Why aren't you going after RK? Or are you and you're just keeping me in the dark?
This isn't the place to talk about that. What the? Hey!
Sakura,
I get
geh mir
the
nicht
feeling
nerven.
something's keeping you guys from doing your jobs. And I don't have to listen to you.
You want to say that again?
Sakurai, I gotta hit the can. Head back to the station.
Huh?
Need to take a piss, Yagami? You're looking hydrated.
Yeah. Good call.
You're looking hydrated. Hat er das gesagt? Das muss ich auch sagen in Zukunft. Ich meine, hey, ist ja nicht verkehrt, ne? Jetzt erzählt uns ja vielleicht doch noch ein bisschen
Nice
was.
spot you brought me to. Very romantic.
Well, we're about to have a shitty conversation. Might as well do it with a pleasant view.
Do the cops really believe Kowana is responsible for Sawa-sensei's death?
We wouldn't be looking for him if we weren't serious. We even have a warrant.
To arrest Kowana?
His real name's Yu Kitakata. He's been using a fake. And he services right at the murder scene of his former student. In my eyes, he was suspicious enough.
What about Soma from RK? He should have been spotted on the nearby cameras too. Like when he entered her apartment.
He wasn't.
How is that possible?
Let me rephrase. There's no footage that had RK anywhere near it.
What's that supposed to mean?
From the moment Mikoshiba's murder went down, the higher-ups have been busy playing politics. I had a handle on things when they were just competing with Tokyo PD over who got to grill Ihara. But after that murder footage came out, it really stirred shit up. Sawa-sensei's case has me scratching my head too. Someone at the top is trying to keep details under wraps. And they think it'll work even in this day and age.
Okay, also versucht jemand etwas zu verschleiern,
You're
aber
saying the whole
du
force
nicht.
is in on a cover-up?
It started with the footage surrounding Sawa's apartment.
So ist angeblich.
Someone on the inside erased it. Any footage that had the RK guys tagged in it is totally wiped.
Ja gut.
Erase the footage. Are you
Großartig.
serious?
Yeah. You heard me. Kawana leaving her place is all that's left. Even the parts where you show up are long gone.
Das ist immer was Positives.
Before and after, the only person that the cameras pin the crime on is Kawana himself.
Who would go so far to erase the footage? Who would do something like that?
It's time to let it go, Yagami. Mikoshiba's case and Sawa-sensei's case, they're closing the book. And to tie up the loose ends, and this is the shitty part, Kawana has to die in an accident.
What?
Soon as they track him down, they'll put him into custody and then blame it on negligence.
Wow.
They'll say he resisted arrest and died in the struggle, I guess.
Wow.
Someone clearly wants Kawana gone, and they have the power to do it.
Come on. Who could have that power?
Kawana is clearly a target of someone higher up.
Gut, das klingt halt wieder nach Gesundheitsministerium, aber warum sollte sie da mit der Polizei daran zusammenarbeiten? Das ergibt ja auch keinen Sinn.
When the team you're playing for is rotten to the core, all you can do is look the other way. As for me, I'll stick to the cut and dry cases for a while. That's what'll keep me an honest cop.
That's bullshit! You'll shut the lid on the trash, ignore the smell of the rot coming from inside and go on pretending it's justice? And then you call that being an honest cop?
Asshole. Did you forget that you were talking to a detective?
Oh, okay, chill. Chill. Komm schon.
You never did answer the question, Nabe-san. Who had the authority to erase the security cameras? Who wants Kawana dead so bad that they do it inside?
Even if I told you, what the fuck could you do about it, detective? Smartass! Leave it alone, Yagami. It's for your own good.
Is that your call? Well.
Oh, kämpfen wir? Wir kämpfen wirklich? Oh no.
Piece of shit. I've had enough.
Okay. Sehe ich, dass du wütend bist. Holst auch direkt eine Waffe raus. Immer keine Schusswaffe. So, let's go. Ich bin bestimmt besser geworden seit dem letzten Mal. Ein bisschen. Nicht wirklich. Okay, ich nehme es zurück. Oh mein Gott, er macht auch wirklich viel Schaden. Zumindest eine Sache habe ich getan, und zwar sehr, sehr viele neue Sachen gekauft. Nom. Fucking hell. Das bringt halt doch gar nichts, nee. Dann nehme ich den X-Boost halt mit. Weil die sind doch keine Sachen, die ich aufheben kann oder sowas. So viele Möglichkeiten habe ich sonst nicht, um das zu nutzen sinnvoll. Möchte ich behaupten. Wie hat er mich da... War ich nicht hinter ihm? Bin mir nicht ganz sicher, aber es kam mir schon so vor, als wäre ich in einer Position gewesen, wo er mich nicht hätte treffen können sollen. So, Nom. Steh auf. Erste Leiste wäre schon mal geschafft zumindest. Sehr gut. Aber er macht so hart viel Schaden, das ist doch nicht dein Ernst. Ich kann doch nicht sowas hier nochmal nutzen. Aber ich habe halt nur eins auf und ich werde niemals mehr davon herstellen. Ich weiß das ja. Ja, komm. Na, warum nicht? Mir ist gerade danach eigentlich. Nein, jetzt nicht die Cutscene. Was? Schmeißt mich gerade raus hier? Habe ich jetzt verloren? Bin ich jetzt gerade gestorben? Sofort? Jetzt wirklich? Come on. So, das passiert wahrscheinlich jetzt gleich nochmal. Naja, jetzt passiert's. Und ich muss aufpassen. Stick nach unten. Dreieck. So. Fucking hell. Das ist aber auch einfach ein Instant-Kill ist, ne? Komm schon. Yagami. Danke. So. Dann bitte jetzt weiter. Ich habe diesmal nicht mal bisher meinen X-Boost verschwendet. Das heißt, das kann ich jetzt gerne tun. Lohnt es sich auch erst recht, ne? Sehr gut. Auch das natürlich wieder sehr geplant verwendet. Wie immer. so wie alles, was ich gerade tue. Kann ich jetzt trotzdem noch den komischen Trank nutzen? Will ich den jetzt trotzdem noch nutzen? Eigentlich läuft es ja ganz gut, ne? Aber eigentlich würde ich ihn einfach gerne mal so aus Spaß nutzen. Ich hatte gerade mich schon darauf gefreut, so ein bisschen. Dann kam die blöde Quicktime-Sequenz. Okay, so kann ich den ganzen Bosskampf ja skippen. Soll ich den ganzen Bosskampf zu Ende bringen können? Das waren ja gerade mal das war ein Viertel der Zeit oder so. Fuck. Oh, jetzt habe ich verschwendet. So ist das halt. Hat Spaß gemacht. Immerhin das.
They broke the lock and forced their way into Sawa-sensei's place. That's when Soma came in. I'm sure she was terrified. They were pointing an ice pick at her. When I found her, her eyes were still open. I could see the tears. Yet the police are going after Kawana instead of Soma. And the cops that were there know he isn't a suspect, but say their hands are tied. So it'll be my voice you hear instead of hers. And when they come to silence me, I'll know who the puppet masters are.
I hear you. You're probably right.
And if you have any idea who might be pulling the strings, I need you to tell me before it's too late. Is there anyone on the force who would want Kawana dead?
The moment we opened Sawa-sensei's case, the Kanagawa brass had a suspect file ready to go. They didn't point to your guy Soma. They named you Kitakata, alias Kawana the handyman. Hilarious, isn't it? You were the first to the scene, which means the bigwigs pulled the suspect file before it even happened.
Where'd the info about Kitakata come from?
Not sure. But the National Police Agency said it came from public security.
Public security?
Die öffentliche Sicherheit ist quasi der Geheimdienst und überwacht ausländische Spione, Gangs, politische Gruppen. Sie fasst keine Verbrecher, sondern bewahrt durch Informationsbeschaffung und Analyse den Frieden.
Why is public security involved in Sawa-sensei's case?
Seems they were interested in RK's criminal network in Kamurocho. You know how after the Tojo clan disbanded, the criminals started going
Und
underground?
das führt dazu, dass Kawana jetzt gesucht wird.
Would rather let RK roam free than bust them.
Was?
Monitoring them quietly gives them intel on criminal movements.
Das ergibt gar keinen Sinn.
And even if you catch these guys, no one will just take their place.
Wait, so they want RK on the streets? Is that why they're brushing Sawa-sensei's case under the rug?
If RK goes down in one fell swoop over a murder case, they have to find a new source of intel. Purely speaking, from public security's point of view, that is.
Unbelievable.
Not that they'd ever say that out in, well, public. If you believe public security, there's no way RK killed Sawa-sensei.
What the hell? Do they even have a reason?
Not that I'm aware of. On top of that, I asked Tokyo PD about Soma, but he doesn't have a record. No priors, no census registry, not even a damn profile pic.
Then, what does that mean?
The man known as Kazuki Soma doesn't exist, basically. Maybe that's how it's always
Das ist auch nicht so ein echter Name, ne?
cover-up. They had plenty of files on Kawana to send our way instead. They're the ones who made him the prime suspect in Sawa-sensei's case, too.
That doesn't make any sense.
Look, Kawana's a scapegoat for RK. Public security wants to shut the curtains on Sawa-sensei's case with him. As far as they're concerned, with Kawana silenced, it will all balance out.
So that's what you meant by Kawana having an accident.
Right. Better to flush your ship and keep a lid on it.
Wenn sie Kawana ausschalten, dann gilt tote Reden nicht. So können sie es vielleicht vertuschen.
So who's running the show in public security? Do they have a name?
I wasn't told, unfortunately. Afraid I'm further down the food chain than you thought.
Was dich aber zumindest auch ein bisschen vertrauenswürdiger macht. Ne?
Yeah.
Auch wenn ich dich...
Watanabe
Ne,
speaking.
ich habe dich schon verdächtigt. Aber auch nur, weil ich keine andere Idee hatte.
Eugene show.
Huh?
Right. Got it. Call me if anything else comes up.
Vor allem, weil es dann auch wirklich langweilig ist, wenn es jetzt ein Charakter sein wird, den wir vorher noch gar nicht kannten. Das kann ich mir immer noch nicht vorstellen. Da muss noch irgendjemanden geben, den wir prinzipiell auf dem Radar haben, der da oben mit drin steckt. Oder? Ah ja, die Gummijule, die habe ich vor kurzem noch angesprochen.
Apparently it means spider web in Korean. You haven't seen it? It's made to look like it's abandoned.
And Kawana's there?
You're not gonna say you got that from me, right?
I don't have much time. You said Kawana might have an accident, didn't you? I'm sure that's why you're telling me all this.
If you find him, let him know it's public security that's after him. And they mean business.
Aber ich bin ja auch gegen Kawana, also es ist ja nicht mal so, als würde ich Kawana unbedingt verteidigen wollen. Nur will ich, dass Soma auch seine gerechte Strafe bekommt. Und vor allem will ich persönlich das große Ganze gerne verstehen, wenn das noch irgendwie möglich wäre.